It says in verse 18 once again, and another angel came out from the altar who had power over fire. And he cried with a loud voice to him who had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in your sharp sickle, and now notice, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth. Notice once again that the harvest is not over in the Middle East. It's not in a little valley next to Jerusalem. It says here that he is supposed to thrust in his sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth. And then notice it says, for her grapes are fully ripe. In other words, this means that the wicked are fully wicked. They wouldn't ever become righteous if God gave them another 1,000,000 years. They are fully and totally and completely wicked. And so now comes the harvest of the wicked, who are represented as absolutely ripe grapes, and the Bible tells us that they are gathered all over the earth because the clusters of the vine are on the earth. Notice verse 19. So the angel thrust his sickle into the earth. See, there it is again. It's universal. It's worldwide. So the angel thrust his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth. There it is again. Gathered the vine of the earth, and now notice, and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. Now this directly connects with the third angel's message, because the third angel's message says that whoever worships the beast, which we've already identified as the Roman Catholic papacy, as a system, and whoever worships his image, which basically is when the United States of America joins church and state and sets up a system similar to the one that the papacy had during the Middle Ages, and whoever receives his mark, the mark of the beast, we've already studied carefully from the Bible, represents the counterfeit day of worship. Whoever worships the beast, his image, or receives his mark, it says, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So in other words, we find here the moment when the wicked have already made their decisions, they've already rejected the seal of God, they've accepted the mark of the beast, and now they're harvested as grapes, and the punishment of God is going to fall upon them. And so it says that he threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. Now, we need to understand that this entire passage of Revelation chapter 14, verses 14 through 20, actually comes from an Old Testament passage in the book of Joel. So, if you have your Bibles, I invite you to go with me to the book of Joel, chapter 3, and we're going to read verses 9 through 12. Now, let me tell you what the picture is here. The picture here is of God's people gathered in the city of Jerusalem. And the wicked nations that surround Jerusalem are coming to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which was just outside the city of Jerusalem, and they're coming there with the intention of slaying those who are found within the city. But then we're told that God will intervene, and he will pour out his wrath upon the wicked, and he will deliver his people. That's the context of what we find in Joel chapter 3. So let's begin reading at verse 9. Proclaim this among the nations. Prepare for war. Notice that the nations are coming for war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble and come, all you nations, and gather together all around.